Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leaders with a Heart podcast. Today, I have a phenomenal guest, my new good friend, Ali Love. She's an amazing human being. She's got one of the most beautiful hearts. We had a very beautiful heart-to-heart conversation just before starting, and I'm always amazed by, and this is what I love the most about this podcast is connecting with incredible people of incredible caliber that have absolutely, and that's very beautiful to know that there is still it gives you faith in humanity that there's still a large amount of incredible human beings still out there despite what the media tries to portray us that everything is negative and dooms and all that. I've stopped watching the news, but I'm amazed that there's so many amazing phenomenal people, and she's one of the best version of that. Ali, my good friend, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Payman. I appreciate you for having me, and thank you for having an amazing heart to serve.
That's my pleasure. And one thing that I want to mention about you is that you have an amazing mission, which is show up to show out, being the best you can be in whatever you choose to be in that moment. She has a lot. How can I say it? She has a lot going on for her in a lot of ways. She's a godpreneur, mental health advocate, open adoption advocate, motivational speaker, and a former gypsy. As I told her before we're going live, we can do an entire series or even a season just on you, talking about each and every single one of those, not just about your professional achievement, but also as a human being, because my podcast is all about having a heart-to-heart conversation, looking what's under the hood, hence the name Leader with a Heart. And you, my friend Ali, you have one of the most beautiful genuine hearts out there, so it's an
Thank
absolute honor
you.
having you.
Thank you. Like attracts like, Payman. Like
Thank you.
attracts like.
Very happy to hear that. Before we start, for people that don't know you, who's Ali?
Who is Ahli? I am a lover of life. I call myself a professional obstacle overcomer.
Wow, love
Um,
that.
in gratitude. So Ali is just a woman who's out here just wanting to inspire love, wanting to inspire compassion, gratitude, because gratitude is the best medicine. But Ali's a woman who has a heart to serve and just looking to help others build their hearts to serve and tap into their heart songs. I got that. I received that from Happy Feet, the movie Happy Feet. Your heart song. What is your heart song? Shine in your heart song.
Amazing. Is that a guitar behind you?
I'm sorry. Oh yes, it's a guitar and there's a keyboard.
Oh my god, you're a musician. Amazing. See,
Uh,
that's
I'm an artist of life. I pick up different. I love
wow.
hobbies and I crochet, and I think that everybody should have hobbies. Make sure you have a hobby. Find a
Absolutely.
hobby. Keep yourself occupied. Have something that you enjoy doing.
Absolutely. My motto is inspiring entrepreneurs to do good. Are you, Ali, ready to inspire our viewers?
I am. Yes. Thank you so much again for inviting me to the podcast.
My pleasure. So let's get going. As I said, I want to first and foremost get to know the person. Have a heart-to-heart conversation. What makes you happy?
What makes me happy is seeing others happy.
Wow.
That really makes me happy. What makes me happy, I mean, internally is first of all, my soul has to be happy.
Mm,
Because and then from there, when I'm happy, then I can be excited about other people being happy. So
love that.
life
What?
makes me happy. Living, breathing makes me happy.
Absolutely. What makes you smile?
Uh, well, I'm always smiling. I've been smiling since I came out. I think I came out of my mom's womb just with this big smile on my face.
You're
But
blessed with a beautiful, warm, genuine smile. Keep smiling
oh,
always.
thank you so much. But seeing others smile, that helps. That ripple effect that we spoke about.
Hmm.
But I'm always finding something to smile about.
Absolutely. What
Have
make?
to, even if you don't see anything, I'm the person
Mhm.
who's like, hey, just start laughing. Even if there's nothing funny, start laughing, and eventually you'll really start laughing for real instead of for fake. And next thing you know,
Absolutely.
bam, you're feeling good.
Absolutely. What makes you come alive?
Dancing
Oh wow.
really just hits my soul. Just dancing. I think everyone should take at least 1 minute out of their day, get some music on, and even if you don't have music to play, put some music in your heart music, and just dance.
I
Dancing brings
agree.
me alive. I'm
I
always
agree.
alive, but dancing is like my zone of excellence.
Love that. I love dancing too. Now, what makes you sad and angry?
Well, I'm an empath, so when I see others hurt, I feel all of that pain. You know,
Mm,
and it's very challenging. So, like you, I don't watch the news either. I was actually just speaking with my dad earlier about going on a fishing trip today, and he said,
wow.
"Oh, you didn't see the weather? Oh, I forgot. You don't watch the news." No, Dad, I don't watch the news. So
Awesome.
but yes, so I try to stay away from that because there's so much you see it everywhere. You don't even have to watch news to,
Yeah. So much
get that
negativity.
negative
Yeah.
energy.
Hmm.
But anything that's sad can make me sad.
Absolutely. What
But what
scares
I'm
you?
learning to do, real quick, I'm sorry, what I'm learning
Mm,
to do though is learn to manage my emotions. So
wow.
I just want to be authentic here because it's not so great, being emotionally connected like that. So what I am learning to do right now in this moment of my life is managing my emotions.
How do you do that? Do you have any tips for people to better manage their emotions?
So what I've been doing is so I'm okay. So what I try to do is like put a wall there, not a wall to just block our connection and our authentic relationship, but a wall for my emotions. I have to make sure, and then I have to just I don't really have any actual tips right now because when it happens, I'm just kind of like, okay, you have to snap out of this. You have to, you can't be in this zone with them. You have to be the one who helps them heal. So when I think of it that way, as okay, I'm the person to help you heal, then I can't really draw all of that energy into me because it's time for me to radiate some healing energy to you to help you overcome whatever negative energy that you have going on inside of you. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
amazing. I love that. I love that. What what makes you what scares you?
um roaches and mice and snakes and spiders that we just spoke about. No, but
Yeah.
what scares me is losing losing
Mm,
my losing this big personality that you see, that you feel. That scares me because I am who
mm.
I am, and because like I've stated to you, I've had people say, "Oh, you're too happy, you're too friendly," and I called myself going inside of myself and wanting to change that. Like, well, how can I become less friendly? How can I become less happy? Like I was trying to change that, and I can't. So, but that's something that scares me is losing who I am authentically and not being an authentic person.
I agree. It's really puzzling that someone would even say something like that. You're so happy. What's wrong with being happy? I mean, that defies any logic. I fail to understand why would someone even say something like that.
I know, and this happened pretty much all my life. But when it comes from employers, it's just like like, hold on, what? I've gotten used to it or being called weird, and I've accepted that. Like, being weird is a beautiful thing, and thank you. And now I accept that as a compliment. I used to get offended by that word, but now I'm like, thank you. I'm glad I'm a weirdo. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
glad I'm too
seriously.
happy. Thank you. Because I'm overflowing. That means if my cup is running over, that means I could share some happiness and pull you in on this too.
Being happy is the greatest state someone can be in. So don't let anyone, tell you otherwise. And seeing someone that's genuinely happy, that's one of the greatest gifts. So, and God, we all here for a reason. Maybe that's your reason. That's your mission to be here to be happy, not just for the sake of being happy yourself, but to enlighten the days of others around you. So that's a beautiful mission. So please keep being happy, keep shining like the beautiful shining light that you are, because the world needs you and people like you. So please keep being happy like that always.
Thank you, Payment. I will. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me ask you now some fun questions. You know, when we were kids growing up, parents, families, friends, teachers always ask us, so, Ali, what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer back then?
I was actually a performer. When I was 12 years
Oh,
old, I used
wow.
to write songs, and then I would
Nice.
put together choreographed shows and everything. So we would have little concerts in our living room. So I always enjoyed performing and entertaining, and once again, bringing smiles to people's faces. So I've never had one thing in particular that I wanted to do when I was a child. We didn't really have too many of those conversations in our
Mhm.
household, but I know of what I really enjoyed doing. And my teachers would call me hug a bunch, because I love hugs. Even now, I
Oh,
think
wow.
everybody needs a warm embrace. Like,
Oh,
you got to hug
yes.
yourself. So if you have
Oh,
not
yes.
hugged, to you listeners, if you have not been hugged, please, right now in this moment, take your arms and wrap them around yourself and hug
Oh,
yourself.
yes. Oh,
So
yes.
yes, I'm just really a hugger and a person who's just here to help others shine.
Love that.
I don't have any designated anything.
Mhm. And when you were a kid in school, what was your favorite subject?
I love spelling.
Oh, wow.
I love spelling. Yes, and I'm a big reader. I am an advocate for
Mm,
reading. So please, listeners, support your local libraries because they have amazing books and everything there. So I'm a huge advocate. Let's pick up the books. Let's read. Let's take some time off with social media. Pick up a good old fashioned book. Sit in a nice chair. Get your beverage, a tea, and enjoy reading.
absolutely. You know, you know it. Readers or leaders, you know?
Yes, yes. Well, it depends on what we're reading. So
Sure, of
I
course.
read because there's
Cartoons
a
would
lot of
help,
stuff.
you know?
Just like with watching the news, there's a lot of stuff you can get yourself involved in. But I read a lot of professional development, personal development books, spiritual awakening books, things like that. I haven't read any nonfiction since I was in my 20s, many, many
Speaking
years ago.
speaking of books, let me ask you a question about books. What would you say has been the a book you've read of the past year that has had the biggest impact on your life?
I've read quite a few. Some Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass. That's good by Jen Sincero. And excuse my language, but that's the name of the book. But the main one, I would say Ethics 101. Ethics 101. I think it's John Maxwell. I'm gonna have to share that with you. It's in my bedroom, but Ethics
No
101
worries.
is a small book and it really just helps us with getting back to integrity and respect and just being ethical.
Absolutely. I will share with you one book, which is mine, the one that has basically changed my life. This one.
Start something that matters. Oh, let me write that down. Okay, start something that matters.
Have you heard the story of Tom's Shoes?
I have not.
Basically, this guy from California back in 2006, he was on vacation in Argentina. And while he was just, you know, hanging around in the suburbs of Buenos Aires, he noticed kids running around bare naked with no shoes on their feet. And he asked, why are these kids not going to school and just hanging around with no shoes? And they said in Argentina, in order to go to school, kids have to be able to buy the uniform and shoes, and these kids cannot afford it. So long story short, it took the traditional, as you can see, these kind of canva shoes, Argentinas,
Oh,
and he made them more sturdy version for the U.S. market, and he would sell them. And the kicker was for each pair he would sell, he would give one pair of those shoes for free to these kids. So long story short, between 2006 and 2011, he built the fastest growing shoe company in the world, competing with the likes of Nike, Adidas, and all that, with zero and outside investment. He built a business from zero to $500 million in sales, and in 2011 he sold half of his company for over $300 million. And as soon as he sold it, he gave half of it to charity. But the kicker is, during that time, he's given away over 100 million pairs of shoes to people in need around the world. So when I was I love biking. Last summer, I usually used to bike 2-3 hours, and I still remember the day. I was biking. We live outside of Toronto and in a small city. So I was biking. Picture this on the side of the highway biking, and I was listening to my podcast, and this guy came on the podcast by with Ed Milet, one of my favorite podcaster. And as soon as he came, I stopped there, and I must have taken at least 1,000 word note on my phone with trucks and cars zooming past me, and I was completely oblivious to all of that. So I listened to that episode back to back to back 3 times, and when I came home, I said I need to do this, and this is what's the genesis of my business: to start a business with a heart, to build a business with for each unit of my product that I'm going to be launching soon on Kickstarter. I want to give a pair of eyeglasses to someone in need, because we can all contribute and make an impact towards the world. So yeah, that book has really changed the direction of my life. Highly recommend for everyone. It's called Start Something That Matters, and how
That
you can
is
implement,
good.
how you can add a cause to your business, because in the current hyper competitive marketplace, one of the best, it's all about differentiation and at multiple level of differentiating yourself. And one of the best ways to really stand out and to make competition completely irrelevant is to have a cause, because as I mentioned earlier, people love doing business with businesses that care. Make your business to be not just another profit driven company, but instead a heart driven, a cause driven business. If you can do that, competition will become irrelevant. And
Right.
this is
That
the
is
perfect
good. A cause with a cause. That
and
is a
this
good idea. I have to think of that.
and this guy is is a perfect example. He built $1 billion company with zero outside investment, all because I mean, when he talks on this book, he said the shoes are nothing special. Sure, they're nice, they're original, but as soon as people start hearing the story that for each one they buy, a kid in Argentina would get a pair of it, their eyes lit up. So instead of feeling guilty of buying one, they would buy 5, 6, 10 because they just love it. As I said to you earlier before going live, everyone wants to, most people, a lot of people want to do good, but either they feel they don't have the money, they don't know where or how. But if me and you, we give them an opportunity to do good to the purchase of our products and services, they will feel grateful, they will feel elated, and they will not only buy one or two and not feel guilty, they will buy a lot. They will talk about you, they will write about you, they will blog about you, podcast about you. They will not be just a one-time cheapo customer or client. They will be lifelong loyal avid evangelical fans. They will become your ambassadors. They will do your marketing for you, just like this guy. His company grew with zero outside investment to $1 billion company just because of the power of the cause.
Right. Right. Nice. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Adding a cost to my business.
Yeah, I actually wrote a few articles. I'm an executive contributor for an online magazine for entrepreneurs called Brains Magazine. Have you heard of it?
Brains Magazine.
B
I've
R
heard of
A
it
N
now.
Z. BRANZ. Yeah. So, anyways, I
Okay.
wrote a couple of articles on that, on the power of not just starting a business, but start a business with a heart. I'll send you after this call the link to those. You can read them to inspire you, because we can all, doesn't matter what business we are in, we can all add a cost to our business, because again, not only it's the right thing to do as a human being, but also it's going to tremendously benefit your business. And most important, it's going to give you as a human being, not as a business person, but as a human being, a purpose, a reason,
Right.
something much bigger, much more valuable, much more fulfilling than just chasing money or material things. Actually about impact and legacy.
Right. Right. Yes. It's about creating impacts and building legacies.
Absolutely. So as I told you earlier, watch out, because once I start talking about that, I can babble on for hours and hours. So you need to stop me, say shut up, time to because I keep on going for long. But anyways, so yeah, everybody, I highly recommend you get this book. It's gonna not only inspire you, but also show you a way to build a business that matters. Because we
Hmm.
all have the power to do good. And it doesn't cost us any extra money to do good.
No, no, and put that smile on your face. That is free.
Not only your face, but others as well.
Right. Got
Absolutely.
to put that smile on our faces because a smile is free and the best medicine, as we spoke about before.
Absolutely. Amazing. So let me ask you now, looking back at your life and your path, how would you describe your path? Was it as soon as you finished school, you got on one path and it was one smooth sailing straight line? Or was it like turn and twist along the way? You had to change direction, change industries, change careers. So how would you describe your path so far?
Stormy and challenging. It's actually probably I actually have another meeting that's going to be coming up, but I would just say stormy and challenging because
Mm.
there's been a lot. You know, I was
Oh yeah,
pregnant at 17 and emancipated through Franklin County Children's Services. So my life has just been, just do the best you can and keep moving forward. Do the best you can, keep moving forward. You fall down, get back up, keep moving forward.
hmm, absolutely.
So, so nothing's been stagnant, nothing's been stable
Oh yeah,
in my life. It's been a lot of twists and turns, but it's been an adventurous life. Like it hasn't been boring. I can say
yeah,
that. Nowhere near
absolutely.
boring.
Absolutely, that's what matters. Because if life were too smooth, too predictable, we're too boring. Who wants a boring life? You know.
Right.
And
And
only
when we
that,
look
it's a
at it that way, right. And when we look at it that way, then we should kind of probably be a little happy about the storms and different obstacles that appear themselves, because they're there for a reason and they're keeping us
absolutely.
from being bored.
And those storms are our biggest lessons to grow as a human being, to grow at a soul level.
Right, right.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure you heard the saying, change your story, change your life. By story, I mean the story that we keep on telling ourselves in our mind all the time. So when you Ali had to change your story to get on the right path, to get closer to your goals and dreams, how did you do it? Did you do it with the help of friends, mentors, books? So tell us how you change your story to basically change your life.
Well, I haven't changed my story. I'm keeping my story because my story is what has what you see now. All of it. The
Mm,
good, the bad, the ugly, the wishy washy, the weird, it's all a part of who I am. So
mhm.
honestly, I wouldn't change anything about it. Um, yeah, I wouldn't change anything about the story, but I've been impacted in my life by speakers, all kinds of speakers, authors. Everybody's a teacher. As long as a
Mhm.
student shows up willing to learn, everyone can be a teacher. So,
Absolutely.
so yes. So, but no, I'm not changing the story. I don't regret anything in the
Oh,
story,
absolutely.
even the open adoption
Hmm.
that I've experienced and being a birth mom. I think about, and I still see my son. He'll be 6 next month. Um,
Awesome.
but even that, I won't change that story because he
Hmm.
has a divine purpose and a journey that he needs to live, as well as his new family. So
Love
even
that.
that, so even my 16-year-old who's a cancer survivor, I wouldn't change that
Amazing.
story because that story taught us patience and it brought us together. And some other things happened in that story. So yes, I would never change any story.
Amazing. All right, so that's amazing. Love this podcast so far. You're an absolute treasure. You're an absolute angel. Love your answer, especially when I can feel it coming straight from the heart. But now let's talk about your business. Tell us about what you do in your business.
When Ali Love Management, I actually focus on workplace wellness. So my goal is to see people have joy in the workplace, and
Wow.
know that it's okay to have joy in the workplace, and there should be no reason why we should be separate in the workplace. So I have a mission. I'm on a movement to bring hospitality, genuine hospitality, back into the hospitality industry to
Love that.
help people take pride and have integrity on the services that they provide to the community. You know,
Hmm.
but I'm also that's like I've stated, a testimonial speaker where I speak to audiences about open adoption. I am an open adoption advocate as well as a birth mom. So I do try to inspire people to think of other choices other than abortion. I'm also a mental health advocate and survivor. I've been there where I just wanted to
Wow.
end my life, and it was just, could not shake that off, and landed me to being diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And that was 2011. So I do advocate for mental health because we have to make sure that we're managing our minds. As I spoke about before, we can manage our emotions, but we have to also manage our minds.
So, how did you overcome your depression? Was it through friends, or through you had to dig down deep inside of yourself to find the resources to get back? Tell us about how you accomplished that.
Well, I mean, truthfully, I'm very transparent and I have no shame in any parts of my story. But that night when I wanted to end my life in 2011, it actually landed me in the mental hospital, the psychiatric hospital for 2 weeks. And
Wow.
so when you experience that, it's like, like whoa. Let me take a step back and let me get some more gratitude. So honestly, it's really been
Mhm.
gratitude that's been helping me to manage my mind, being grateful in all things, our taste buds, everything. Just gratitude really does help, and making sure that I'm staying away from those situations that are causing me to feel less about myself than I should be feeling, because that's what happens. We start feeling less about ourselves. We start beating ourselves up. And it's like we really don't need to do that. We have to just learn to accept ourselves the way that we are, and things that we need to adjust or develop, we work on those areas. And
Wow,
for me, I
amazing.
was just like really feeling like it was just this spirit, because everything is spiritual too. So you have to make sure that you're understanding everything is spiritual. So if you're not protecting your mind and guarding your mind, just like your heart and your emotions, then anything can just pop up on you. And next thing you know, bam, you're suffering from depression. And as I tell my 16-year-old, also the people that we're around, sometimes their energy will pull off into our lives. My son, he experienced it when he was 11 years old, and we finally came down to what was going on. It wasn't he was unhappy at home. It was the fact that he had a friend that was close to him, and he was pulling that friend's energy and the things that were happening in that friend's life. So we really
Wow.
have to mind who we're around.
Oh, absolutely.
Mind our minds.
Absolutely. Wow. Okay. So, talking about your business, what would you say is your ideal client? What are you trying to serve specifically?
Well, because I offer various services for the workplace wellness, my target audience are actually nonprofit organizations, domestic violence organizations that's helping people re-enter the workplace. Of course, I want anybody who feels like they are suffering with, being the workplace bully. I want them to call me, like the workplace bullies. I really want them to call me and say, "Hey, Ali Love, I'm a workplace bully. I'm the miserable person at work that's making everyone else miserable, and I need you to help me." So that's really who I would love to call me or contact me. But for now, I'm gonna because it is a new business, and I'm going to market to the nonprofit organizations, domestic violence organizations, because those organizations are dealing with people who are already struggling with mental health. And when you bring your already struggle of mental health into the workplace, that does not really, it doesn't mix right. So
Hmm.
yes, my target audience, my target market is nonprofit organizations. Really, anybody who calls me and says, "Hey," it could be an entrepreneur who's starting to build their team, and they say, "Hey, I need someone to come over and train, our department in customer service." It could be McDonald's, or whomever can call and say, "Hey, we are lacking in customer service, and we need you, Miss Love." So it's not really, I don't really have a clear definition, clear defined audience just yet, because like I said, it is a new
Hmm.
movement that I've
I see.
discovered that I need to be a part
That's your calling. I can see that. Okay. Um, can you tell us about the an example of the most remarkable transformation you've seen from one of your clients going through your program? One of the most inspiring and remarkable example of transformation from someone that went through your program that you helped, and just share a little bit about that.
of. Okay. Well, uh, it's a new program, but I've been working with people as a former property manager.
Mhm.
you're in charge of your staff. You're not in charge, but you're managing and leading your staff and your team to show up and show out in the workplace. But I do have a client that I've worked with who is an artist, and they suffered from um, stage performance,
Mm.
showing up and showing out on the stage, and I do have a testimonial from that client on my website. But because even when you're a musician, you're still, that's work, so and they actually made a drastic change on the stage, and it's helped them become more passionate with their art and their creativeness, and it's helped them really show up and brand themselves on stage and just feel good, which then impacts the audience and inspires the audience to feel good, and then you know motivates the audience to be a part of what their be a part of their musical cause.
Mhm. You mentioned that you're just starting your business, so you haven't clearly identified yet your ideal client. I can send you an article I wrote. Nothing salesy, just an article I wrote about how to clearly identify your ideal client avatar. I'll send that to you after. Read that. That's going to really give you maybe some clarity. But from my experience talking with a lot of people I've had on my podcast so far, is that people want to do business with people they can relate. So and don't try to. One thing that I noticed among coaches, and I can say the same thing about e-commerce because I feel that I see that all around me, is that people want to sell products to everyone. People want to serve everyone with all kinds of problem. While that is a noble cause, that's something that me and you we cannot do because we're not God. Only God can help everyone with all their problems. So instead, what we need to focus is try to focus on one very specific person with only one very specific issue. And the best way is look at yourself. What problem did you have or do you have that you had to overcome? And look for a bunch of other yous, because whatever problem you have, you can bet your bottom dollar that others like you have the same. So look into your own demography. For example, you looking at you, look maybe helping say Black women in a specific either niche industry or even age group. Like for example, I had a amazing podcast with an amazing young lady just a few days ago. She was born and raised in Germany, but she's originally from Hong Kong. So once she was about 24, 25, after she finished university, she returned back to Hong Kong, and she got on the corporate ladder. She started making a lot of money, but because it was just she was just going through the motion. Her heart wasn't into it, so she quit her job, and now she's helping people. And I had this conversation with her. I can send you the link to that episode. It's that specific section that I tell her exactly all that. And I told her, listen, for you, the obvious choice would be John. I know it's a noble cause. You want to help everyone, but instead focus on someone that exactly like you. Like for her, it would be Hong Kong professional women and the corporate ladder, say in their 30s and 40s, or just dissatisfied or whatever, unfulfilled. Look for someone that's exactly like you, because people want to look at some. For example, if I were me as a guy, try to help, let's say, Black women or Hong Kong ladies, sure, I can help them, but they would not relate with me because I'm not one of them. But you and her, if she goes after Hong Kong ladies or Asian ladies, say in Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, and mainland China, because she's one of them, she speaks the language, she's been with they in their shoes, they will see her as one of their own and they say, hey, this is someone because I can connect with. Just like when you're trying to get a mentor, don't look for a billionaire, look for someone that just maybe one or two steps ahead of you so that they can relate to you. So for you, what I would recommend is look at yourself when you were starting. What was your number one pain point? What was really frustrating you, and try to go after that demography. Like for you, again, it's an obvious no-brainer. Black woman and a specific niche, depending on what career you're, whether you're in the medical industry or finance or engineering, whatever. Look into that, and you know that better because you know yourself and you know that industry better than anyone. Look at the number one pain point that people in that demography, especially women, let's say in the 30s, 40s, Black women in the 30s, 40s in corporate world in a specific niche have, and you know that better because you are one of them. And when you because you want your messaging to be not just general you want to be very specific. You want it to be when you target a specific person with a specific problem, and that's someone that you understand. your message will be magnetic, because when she sees that, she says, oh my god, she's speaking to me. And for the just to come back to the Hong Kong lady, for her, she always wanted to write a book. So what she loves writing. So what she did, I told her, listen, why don't you try to help Hong Kong ladies and corporate ladies in Hong Kong who are just sick and tired of just following the script of what society expects them and what family expect them, and instead going for the heart, and help those ladies to take the courage, because it takes a lot of courage to stand against what your culture, your society, or whatever wants you to do, especially as a woman. And you will be the person who's going to give them courage to stand for themselves, to go after their dreams and to follow their heart. And when I told her that, she says, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And I had a podcast yesterday with another Indian woman in the UK. She had the same problem. She was just following what the societal norms were telling her, and of course she was very dissatisfied. She said, listen, and now she's building a coaching program. She quit her job, and I told her, listen, you want to be for you. And just like that, she wanted to help everyone. I said, listen, that's a beautiful mission, but me and you, we cannot help everyone. We're not God. Focus on one person you understand very well, which is Indian woman in the UK with the same problem. And that problem is how to take the courage to stand up and go after your dreams and not follow what society and Indian culture wants you. And when I told her, I said, wow, that makes so much sense. So even for you, so what I'm saying is look at yourself when you were starting, or even right now, what is your number one pain point? And whatever it is, you can bet your bottom dollar there's a bunch of others. So as I told you, look for a bunch of other yous, someone similar to you, same demography, same age group, same background, because the more specific you can be, the more laser focused your messaging will be, the more magnetic, attractive, powerful your messaging will be. So this is what I would recommend you start. Don't try to help everyone, because I know you have a beautiful heart. You're an angel. You want to help everyone. But me and you, we're not God. We cannot help everyone. Instead, let's try to help the person we understand best, which is ourselves and other people like us. So look at
Right.
yourself, look at your professional background, look at your even uh, culture, whatever, and go after that. Because again, it's people love to do business with people they can relate and trust. I'm not
Right.
saying you cannot help white women or Muslim women or whatever. You can, yes, but the people that you will be able to connect the deepest will be black women and a specific and your age group and your professional, niche or industry, because you understand that person. You really understand.
Right. I get that. It's just a little challenging because I don't get why someone would show up to work and with poor hygiene, or I
Mhm.
can't relate to that, or poor customer
Exactly.
service, or just in a bad mood. I've never
Mhm.
shown up to work that way. So I'm not actually my ideal client in regards to that aspect. You understand what I'm saying? So
Yes,
it's
yes,
really
yes.
I'm trying to get in that mental frame of why, like who this ideal client would be has been challenging for me because I'm not that person. Unfortunately, I'm that
Mhm.
person who gets frustrated by receiving the poor customer service, or or
Mhm.
just the sloppiness when it comes to corporate work
Yeah.
ethics. But I'm not the customer that I don't want to conduct business with.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to really figure out that mindset. So, like I said, it's new. I've been running my virtual assistant business, and universe just said, "Hey, this is something that you're good at, and this is something that people need assistance with." So, yes, I'm still
Awesome.
dotting the I's and crossing the T's. Thank you for that information. I've just been trying to figure out who are they, because that person's not me. The people who need me, I've never been.
What are you
So I
most
don't even
passionate about?
understand. I'm
So maybe
sorry.
maybe look for what are you most passionate about? Maybe something that a pain point that you yourself have, and if you have it, then there's absolute guarantee that a lot of other people will have the same problem as well, the same issue. Look for one. Not don't I wouldn't look for a bunch of things, just one. The number one pain point, number one problem that you yourself have, that you had to overcome to be to where you are or where you want to be, and then try to help other similar people like you from the same background, demography and all that. And then, because again, it's all ultimately it's all about connecting, relating at the deepest level as human being.
Right. Right.
So if you
Hmm.
can do that, then the more niche you can be, sure, the
So
market will be smaller, but you don't need a massive market. You just need a very specific niche market, and that's going to keep you very happy, very busy for the rest of this life and many more to come, because there's so many people out there that need help. But and all we need to do is just find one specific person with one specific issue. Like for
So
example,
basically, I'm sorry. So like
mm,
based on my most recent experience with being terminated, I was terminated for the first time of my life. I've never been
mhm,
terminated from a corporate position ever. And as a property manager, I was terminated because I spoke up about something I saw my leader doing that was not right.
mhm.
So with that, so that market would be Black women who are property managers who are being bullied in corporate America.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful market. It's very specific, it's very niche. You understand that industry better than anyone because you've been there, you walked in the shoes, you've been through all the challenges. Yes, absolutely. That's an amazing niche.
Hmm.
Because you again, you understand that industry, you work there, you understand that person because you're one of them yourself, and ultimately you want to portray the image when someone like you, another black woman who's a property manager, sees that, say, oh my God, that's me. She's speaking directly to me. She's not speaking just in terms of general marketing, trying to make a sales. She's speaking to me from the heart. Because the more you can understand, the better, deeper you can understand the person you're targeting, the stronger the connection will be.
Huh. So it'd just be, I think I would be like, well, how would I help that person? Because I would be like, seek an attorney or go above their head. But a lot of times these leaders are maybe part owners in the organization. So there is no one above their head. So then
Or
at that point, would I inspire them to move on and find something else?
that would be better. What I would recommend, that what I would suggest, again, we're just brainstorming and thinking out loud. It's maybe target black women that are working in property management were unfulfilled and want to follow their heart and do what's more in line with what they really want. That would be something much more, I would say, there would be much more passion as opposed to just trying to speak out against bully, because that's you're getting into maybe legal. They would need basically to seek legal advice, and I don't think you're a lawyer, and I don't think that's going to be much. No. So instead, what I would recommend is target that demography: black women in property management work that are unfulfilled, that are not happy, that are feeling not living up to the potential. Say, I was one of the, I was just like you. I was a property manager. I was bullied. I was not fulfilled. I hated it. There's nothing I can do it. And instead, I took the courage in my hand. I quit my job, started my business. My business is not just to make money, but to help people, to be impactful, to help other people like me. Something along those lines. You know what I mean?
That's good. It's just I did not hate my job. I love being a property manager. I
Yeah, yeah.
love building communities. It's just, the corporate leadership that comes and that's involved in that
Mhm.
and just the unfair treatment. I was never written up.
Yeah.
Never
As I said,
written up for anything. So
we're just brainstorming here. So what you need to do
right.
maybe is find out what is the main challenge, the main pain point that other ladies like you that work in that line of work, what is the main pain point? And that's something that only you know because you've been there, you know that better than anyone. So you need to do some deep soul searching, and then or maybe just reach out to other ladies you know that work in that field. Tell them, hey, what is your number one pain point? What is your number one challenge right now? Do that until you get contact, if you can, 100 people. And once you have 100 people contacted, you can get a list of recurring patterns, and then and take the number one and just address that. Go after that. Don't try to help them with one, two, three, four, five. Go after one, the main one, and then take the next two and then offer that as an upsell. You know what I mean?
That's good. Okay.
Because you want to be a specialist, and that's why surgeons are much more highly sought, much more paid than general practitioners because they're specialists. You know what I mean?
Right.
Become the go-to for just one specific thing. Be so good that when someone mentions whatever it is, your name pops up, you know,
Right.
in their mind. Be that person, become that specialist, that go-to. And one of the best ways to do that is, as I told you in the beginning before we're going live, have you on podcast, because podcast establishes you as an authority, as an expert, and builds credibility and gets the word out about you. It's the best way to get the word out without in an organic way, without spending a fortune on ads. And right now the cost of ads on Facebook and YouTube and Google is to the roof.
Right.
So, and that's the best way.
Okay.
Organic is the best way. It's natural, it's
Right.
authentic, it's genuine. Sure, it's going to take a
Mhm.
lot of investment of your time, but you're building, from what I can see, you're building a business for the long run. You're not just building a business like hit and run just for tomorrow and then gone the next day. No, you're building something for the future, for years, for
Yeah.
decades to come. And that,
That's the
like
goal.
any real business, any legit business, takes time. There's no shortcut.
Right. Right.
So you need
Huh.
to the podcast is a no-brainer.
Right. I was just trying to, I guess I thank you so much for this. I'm
Very
gonna
welcome.
really give me a lot to think about, because I was really thinking about how I could go to the people who are in the front line of customer
Hmm.
service, like go
Yeah,
directly in hospitality, like food service. So,
I think for you, what I would recommend is either look deep down what is your number one pain point when working in that industry, or if you're not very sure, just contact 100 ladies, similar like you, black ladies working in whatever it is, customer service, whatever it is, property management, and ask them, what is the one thing you really hate about your job? Or what is your main challenge about your job? Or something along those lines. What is holding you back to achieve your, what is holding you back to achieve your goal, to build the perfect, the ideal life and business of your dreams? Maybe that will be the question. Just one question. S- Send it to 100 ladies, and pretty soon you will notice a pattern. Take the number one, focus on that as your main business, and then number two, number three, if you want, you can offer that as an upsell,
oh,
and then
okay.
make it, and then structure your business in a way. See, one mistake I see from a lot of coaches is they say, oh, I'm helping coaches build a six-figure business, a seven-figure business. Okay, that's good and nice, but for example, if I'm looking to become a coach and I see someone claiming to teach me to become a seven-figure coach or six-figure, what is it that I need? What skill do I need to master, learn and master to do that? What person do I have to become to get there? And all of that. So what I need to know, if you say to someone, I'm going to help you become a six-figure coach, that's pretty vague. That's a very outlandish claim. Instead, if you tell them, listen, I'm going to show you how to get your first paying client within 30 days, following my step-by-step proven system with daily tasks, with a checklist with daily tasks, weekly assignments, and monthly goals. When someone sees that, it's very clear, very specific, because people want something that is quantifiable, measurable, something they can see, and very specific. Now,
Right.
contrast that with, I'm going to teach you how to become a six-figure coach. Okay, that's nice, but how the hell am I going to do that? And you want to be as specific as possible. For example, you say, I'm going to show you how to get your first paying client within 30 days, 60 days, whatever, using the power of LinkedIn organically, following my proven step-by-step system. And you can add after with daily tasks, weekly assignments, and monthly goals. And even better, make it fun, make it a competition, make it a challenge. Call it the 30-day challenge. Hey, ladies, we're doing a challenge. Let's see. We have to. Who's the first? The first one gets a reward, and the reward can be, hey, they will be on your show, on your podcast. Make it
Right.
fun.
Right.
Make it fun. Make it exciting. Because another problem I've noticed is, and that's a quote from Tony Robbins. 70 or 75% of people that buy books or courses don't even get past the first video. Why is that? That's because they buy a bunch of courses and videos with long, boring videos that are 1 hour, 2 hour. There's so much that pure motivation can get you. You start watching it, then you fall asleep, or life happens, and then you don't get to it. And before you know it, it's collecting dust on the shelf. So instead, make it short, fun, make it engaging, make it in a way that they're interactive. And one of the best way to make it interactive is as a challenge. Just like in school, when you start a class, a semester, they give you like the curriculum. Okay, week one, we're gonna study this. This is what you're gonna do today. Tomorrow, here's your homework for today, for the week.
Right.
Daily checklist with Give them a checklist with daily task to do. Weekly assignments and monthly goals to reach. Like me and my business partner, we launched last year an academy to teach week e-commerce. My business partner is a seven-figure seller on Amazon. We launched programs. It's called the 90-day FBA challenge. We show people, newbies, how to find, select, source, and launch the first product on Amazon within 90 days. And we give them specific days, daily tasks. Today you do that, tomorrow you do that, daily task, weekly assignments, monthly goals. Make it fun, make it interactive, make it challenge. Don't make it just another boring course with long, boring videos. Because nobody,
Right.
and if you do that, if you make it a challenge, then you can say, hey, I have 100% success rate on my clients. I want to make sure my clients are not only ready and willing to pay, but also mentally in the right place. They understand that this takes work. You can vet them. Don't just allow anyone with money to get in, because if it's a wrong person, they can be a nightmare, you know?
Right. Right. Yes, I get that.
So make it fun,
Wow.
make
Okay.
it specific, make it again, the keyword is quantifiable, measurable, end result. So, and for you would be 30 days. Teach them how to, for example, if you want to help, say, Black women and working as in property management, but they're not happy, they want to start their own business. Teach them how to get the first client, not to build a six-figure business. No, teach them how to get the first paying client within 30 days, 7 days, 30 days, 6 days, whatever. Because once they master the steps to get that first paying client on a very specific platform, then it's all a matter of just duplication. They can just repeat, rinse and repeat, get the second client, third client, fourth, fifth. And that's when you build a 5-figure, 6-figure, 7-figure business. Because a 6-figure business doesn't just land on your lap. There's skills
Right.
you have to master. You have traffic you have to master and learn. You know, you have to become a completely different person. So all that's a process. But everything starts with one step. How do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time.
Right. Right.
Because no one has a
Okay.
mouth big enough to swallow an elephant, you know?
Right. Wow, good information. Thank you. I
You're welcome.
will yep, I'll be working on that. I'll be working on that today.
Yeah,
And yes, 'cause
you
I'm
have the
sorry.
recording. You have the recording. Just watch it again. I know it's a lot of information, and you have the record. That's why I like to have it recorded so that the person and myself as well include, because we keep learning all the time. You know.
Right.
So
Right. Wow, great information. Thank you for the tips. Because
you're welcome.
I've been a little like, where am I with this? But you know, just like you said, the universe just kind of pops some stuff out there, and it's
Hmm.
our job to
You know.
trust the process and learn from the messengers who come to teach us.
And absolutely. Another thing I learned along my path in this life is that when we are facing a challenge, our first reflex is to look outward, to look for others for guidance, whether it's family, friends, you know, workers, boss, God forbid, government. But no, we shouldn't do that. Instead, we should just look inward and side. We came in this world with all the answers. We have everything within us, all the knowledge. Especially we need to learn to listen more carefully to our intuition. Because what is intuition? The intuition is our soul talking to us. And what is the soul? It's
Right,
coming directly from God, from the universe. And the purpose, the mission of our intuition and soul is to protect us and guide us. So listen to your heart, listen to your gut feeling, to your instincts. And that will be, in 99% of the cases, the best course of action.
right, right.
So
Hmm.
listen to your heart, listen to your intuition. It can come at any time, whether you're, for example, taking a shower, just sleeping in the morning in form of a dream or whatever, or you're just driving and you have a thought coming in. Oh, that's it. Listen to those moments, because that's your soul talking to you. That's God talking to you, your subconscious, the universe,
Right, right. Hmm.
Whenever I learn, also whenever I'm facing with a challenge and I have to make an important decision, I just say, close my eyes and say, God, soul, show me the way, show me the path,
Right. Yes, I've been doing
inspire
a
me,
lot of that.
inspire me. And a lot of time it happens. Just like anything else,
Yes,
it's
it does.
it's a muscle that we need to practice, to solidify, to
Right.
strengthen.
Just like, yeah. And that's why I said messenger, because I said that prayer to myself and then you come and you give me some more
Thank you.
ideas about my, about my services and my market, my target audience. So that's why I said messengers are really great. When we're the teacher, when we're the student, the teacher will show up.
Everything happens for a
Ready.
reason. Everything happens in the right time and due time.
Right, right, right. Yeah, because I wasn't, like I said, I just been working since I was terminated. I've been working my administrative support, virtual assistant business. And then, Spirit led me to workplace wellness. And I'm really just trying to cross the I's and dot the T's. I mean, dot the I's and cross the T's. So I appreciate that. I
Absolutely.
appreciate that feedback.
Very welcome. Very welcome. Pleasure is all mine. One thing I noticed about your bio, you said you're a godpreneur. Tell us more about that.
Everything I do is really spirit based.
Mm,
Everything I do is spirit and faith based. So,
love that.
because the fruits of the spirit, I wouldn't know about fruits of the spirit if I didn't know about, if I wasn't in the Christ journey,
Hmm.
or if I didn't know about the Word of God, the Bible. And some people, the Word of God is something else, but the Bible, that's where my foundations come from. So, the universe, the God of love, just this, this energy of love, if you want to call it that. So just basically a person who I live by my faith muscle, courage muscle, and spiritual fruits. But I wouldn't know about those spiritual fruits if it wasn't for my background on. I don't like to use the word religious background, but my
Hmm.
bringing up.
Yes,
So
I hear you.
like let your light shine. Like where else would I get let your light shine from other than Bible or I don't know of any other teachings that's really
Hmm.
or historic teachings that's speaking about our light shining,
Absolutely, I hear you.
or
I
peace
hear you.
and love, like even the definition of love. I've never really, that's in First Corinthians. So that's the only place I know where that definition is at. Passion, compassion, kindness, patience, all of that, and being not being boastful, all of that, humility. So that's what I mean by
Hmm.
Godpreneur, a person who's living just everything is through spirit and spirit. I'm trying to just live in spirit versus flesh.
Wow, amazing,
So
amazing. Another thing I mentioned, I noticed on your bio is that you're a former gypsy. Tell us more about that.
so maybe about 2016, I just when you're a property manager, when you've worked as a property manager, then your standards may be a little higher than normal. So I just got a little fed up with the property management communities and the different places I was living. So, anyways, I learned about van life. Someone that I was working with told me about how this community of people are living in vans
Wow.
and living life on their own terms. And I was just like, what? And I started going on YouTube and I'm like, what? And at that time, I was fed up with corporate. I just wanted a break. I wanted a break from paying bills. I just wanted a break from everything for a minute.
Sell the house, buy
Um,
an RV.
right, right. And that's actually what I did. Well, I gave everything away that I owned. And at the time, I had a car, I had a four-door Saturn. And I actually just packed up my Saturn and I chose to live in my car
Beautiful.
I believe I was in my car for 2 months. And then I purchased my first van for like $750 from
Wow.
a former musician who he used that van to travel around the United States.
Amazing.
My dad and I, we went. And of course, when you tell your family you're going to go live in a car or live in a van, and
They're
they
freaking
know
out.
that you're right, they're like, "What the heck is wrong with you?" So, I bought the van. My dad and I, we went and got the van, and I cleaned it out, pulled the seats and everything out. My dad gave me a futon bed. We popped a futon bed in there, and then I went to Walmart. And not, um, I'm not advertising for no business here. It's just that Walmart just has this camping department. You can find your toilet there, your portable toilet, and portable stove.
Everything.
So I
Yeah,
had
yeah.
a house in my van, And I lived a
Nice.
gypsy, nomadic, minimalist life. And it really teaches you you don't need a bunch of stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but even with on my social media or however I connected with um my followers or my tribe, I would let them know that you don't have to choose to live in a van for this lifestyle. You can still just have the backup plan. If you want
Hmm.
to travel, you could design yourself a camper van and you have something to travel in.
Exactly.
You have something to use for travel, or even if you are in a home, there's no guaranteed. If you're in a brick and mortar, there's no guarantee that your water won't get shut off or your
Yeah.
electricity won't get shut off. So, as a backup plan, get you a propane stove. Get a propane. Just get some backups just in case. Get a propane heater just in case. And then, of course, if you're using propane in a home or inside of a dwelling, keep windows open. You need to have air circulation. So please do not sit in some tight space with a propane heater. When I use my propane heater or my propane stove in the van, I did have windows open, maybe even doors cracked. So please, that's a disclaimer. Do not be sitting in the house with propane and no air
Absolutely.
circulation. So
So when you
yes, it was a good 3.5 years. I did it for 3.5 years. I lived in the van and did the van life and
amazing.
minimalist journey.
Did you travel around or you were just
I did do some traveling. I met some of my virtual assistant clients going to North Carolina, Atlanta, and but mostly I was really here local, and I was just really enjoying not
yeah?
paying rent and bills for a while,
Oh,
not
absolutely.
working in corporate America for a while. I just needed a mental break. So my mantra for that is live life on your terms by any
You
means
know,
necessary.
when you live
That
that kind
doesn't
of
mean
life,
go out and be mean and do mean things, but live life on your terms, meaning don't care about what other people's response is going to be to what you choose to do. Just like even with the open adoption, people looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how are you putting your child up for open adoption? That could be a humiliating and embarrassing time, but I did that because I knew what I needed and I knew what would be best for my child.
hmm when you live that kind of lifestyle with, as you said, minimalist, you realize that there's a lot of crap in our life that we don't need, that we can live a very happy lifestyle on a fraction of what we spending currently.
We really can. And I mean, make sure you keep your waters too. So always make sure, even in brick and mortar, you want to have some jugs of water just in case. You just never know.
Another thing
I'm all
also,
about having a backup plan.
another thing I noticed, because I said I lived in 10 countries on 4 continents, I have an online business and that allows me to live location independent. And one thing I noticed is that I used to live in Asia. Coming back here in Canada, I just look at my finance. I'm spending a lot of money for nothing. It's very expensive. I'm spending about $2,000 to $3,000 a month without leaving the house. Whereas in a lot of places in Thailand and Vietnam and the Philippines and Indonesia, Malaysia, I can live on a third of that, a very, very happy lifestyle. Like for example, just to give you an idea, a brand spanking new condo in Kuala Lumpur, which is the capital of Malaysia, which is a first world city with all the amenities. People speak English, very civilized place, amazing place. You can have a beautiful one bedroom for like $400, $500 a month in a brand spanking new condo in downtown. Or you can, and Bali in Indonesia, you can have your own private villa with a swimming pool for like $400, $500 a month. So when you live in that, you see what the hell do I need to spend? And I was talking with a cousin of mine. He's young, he's making good money and all that, but he's renting a studio in a nice place in Toronto, but nothing downtown for $2,500 a month. I say, what the hell are you spending 2,500 just for a studio? And and traveling is the best for me. Traveling is the two best schools of life are traveling and sports, because you learn a lot of the real values in life, like helping others, uh, you know, uh, competitiveness, never giving up, you know, and all that. You learn that, and also you learn about yourself. You, when you land in a place that you don't speak the language, you don't know anyone, you really have to dig down. You have to be resourceful. When I landed in
Right.
China, I didn't speak a word of Chinese. You cannot even read the characters. I remember the first day I arrived at the restaurant, I wanted some chicken. Obviously, I didn't have. I just arrived. I didn't have even data to translate. So I just did the good old school like puck, 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 puck. Yeah, I did this, the gestures. A friend of mine wanted some crabs. How did he do it? He just took a, he managed to explain to the waitress a pen and on a napkin and just drew a crab on a napkin. So you have to be
Right.
really resourceful. You grow up so much as a person. But anyways, the point is, when you travel, you see what's really possible and available outside. You see, what the hell do I have to settle here for, like bleeding money, paying a ton of taxes, and being in an environment that is, for me at least in Toronto, it's like 8 months of the year you're frozen. For what? Whereas I can live in a tropical area for a fraction of that, be happy. Because believe it or not, when you're living in a place that's warm year round, it affects your moral, it affects your mood. You know,
It
you're
does.
not depressed, you're full of energy, you're alive. And when you're living in a beautiful place for $400, $500 a month, it takes away all the stress. And when you have no, you know, like for example, in these places, when you rent a place, there's a maid that come clean your house. You can, even if you want, you can, they do your laundry. Everything is taken care of. You don't even have to worry about all this. And if you want to eat out for like $4 or $5 a meal, you eat amazing, delicious, healthy, organic
Wow.
food. Here you go even to McDonald's, like $15, just the combo. You go to a restaurant to sit down, you can't even sit down now. You're looking 25, $30 just for a small fries and burger. Whereas over there,
Right.
beautiful, delicious, organic, amazing, exotic food for $4 to $5 a person. It's a no-brainer. When you see that, you say, "Why am I here?" It really expands your your reality.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now I am back in brick and mortar, but I'm getting a camper. So
Beautiful.
I'm not done with mobile life. I loved it.
Oh, it's the
Of
best
course, you
way.
have your challenges, just like with anything
Mm,
else. And the heat in the summertime is hot, the wintertime is cold. But I was not like, don't do that. Like, don't live in a vehicle if you don't have
no,
to when it's extra hot
exactly.
outside and when it's extra cold. Like, I didn't do that. I would get either a hotel or I have
Yeah.
friends and family,
Hmm.
so it's just I chose that lifestyle.
Exactly.
So
Yeah,
but yeah,
that's
don't
beautiful.
be in a because there are people who die, from
Absolutely.
having their vehicles running in the winter time. And there's people who've died from carbon monoxide poisoning. So don't put
Absolutely.
yourself in any type of positions that you don't really need to put yourself in. There are
Totally.
shelters out there. So if you find yourself in that position where you are by choice or not by choice, where you are without housing, there are other options out there. Do not put yourself in a position where you can die. You
Oh,
know, um,
absolutely.
yeah. So I
Absolutely.
just wanted to put that out there.
Oh, totally. People have to be, yes, it's good to live that lifestyle, but you have to be careful. Let's switch gears a little bit. So the theme of this podcast is leaders with a heart. That is, people that are building impactful businesses, not just for the sake of making money, but also to helping, providing, and giving back to a cause or community. What would you say is a cause that you're really passionate about? What is dear to your heart? What cause?
That's good. I mean, I would say it would have to be because that's my most recent, but it would have to be the open adoption. The open
Okay,
adoption
awesome.
process can be it's challenging.
Hmm.
It's challenging, and I actually did not. I didn't. When I got pregnant off of permanent birth control and a broken condom. So I don't know if this is too much to say, but this is because some people can relate. Like you take your precautions. Yeah, maybe we should have been doing it anyways. Okay, but we did. But we take our precautions and then something like this happens and you find up yourself pregnant and in a situation that you did not expect. Well, there are families out there who are unable to have their own children, and
Yes,
there's families out there who may want to love your baby. So I just think that it's a good idea to at least try the open adoption process.
absolutely,
Um,
absolutely.
it's
It's a
a
beautiful
challenging
cause.
process. When I left the hospital alone, it was very very hard. Left the hospital with no baby, and just like a bunch of pains from the cesarean birth. It's very
Hmm.
hard,
I know, I
and
imagine.
being a person who's had a mental health experience, I had to make sure, and I have family and friends who were be near me to make sure I didn't take any drastic, my mind didn't take me someplace where it shouldn't have. So I did have a support team around me to help make sure that I
That's important.
stayed
Yeah.
focused through the process, because it's hard. It's hard. It is very
Can
hard,
imagine. Can imagine.
but
But you
it was worth it, because his name is Moses, and he's
beautiful
happy. And
name.
then on the other side of that, he's with a Caucasian family. So as a black woman, that makes it even harder, because then you're like, people are, why you give your baby to white people and blah, all that, all that stuff, blah blah blah. But there was a he's loved. He's very well loved, and it's a great family. You do get a chance to meet the family, talk to them, get to know them, spend time with them before you decide to choose them.
Are you still in
And
touch with him?
I'm happy with my decision. He's happy. He's good. He knows Spanish. He's 6 years old. He
Wow.
reads music. He's played the piano. He plays the guitar. He's
Amazing.
already been to 8 different states already, because they
Wow.
travel a lot. Yes, he knows all the names to the dinosaurs. Like, that's an
Wow.
education he may not have received from me, because I don't know how to pronounce. And he knows how to pronounce them. So so
Yeah,
he's happy, but that's a cause that I would definitely like to stand up for and advocate for,
absolutely. That's
and
lovely.
also be the helpmate to the birth mom, you know,
hmm
or even the birth
Absolutely.
parent, because the father, if he was in on the decision, that he may be experiencing some emotional traumas as well.
That could be something you could also help. You can help other similar mothers like you that had to give up their kids to cope with the emotional and mental stress. That could be something you can help. But the thing would be how you could monetize it. That's something that you would have to do some brainstorming. But even if you were not to monetize it, that could be an amazing cause to get involved in to help to build the support for other women, because when you're going to that, there's a lot of things that you felt lost, you felt hopeless, desperate, you wish you had someone or a resource, a community to help you. And you can bet there's a lot of unfortunately other women going to that would love to have that kind of support, even if it's just someone just to talk to reassure them, hey, everything's going to be okay, you'll be okay.
Right, right. And honestly, Payman, I've really been wondering if I'm even an entrepreneur or a minister. I'm wondering if it's a business or a ministry I need to be a part of, because I, I, I mean, I'm very transparent, and I just, because some
hmm
other people may be experiencing this, but just last week I prayed to the Most High to remove this entrepreneurial spirit from me. Like I said, I don't want to be an entrepreneur anymore. It's hard. And I hate trying to figure out how to make money. Like, making money, honestly. And I hope this energy is, I hope I'm not putting crazy energy out there, but I'd rather serve first, and then the money will come. Like,
Absolutely.
to chase money is so challenging for me, but to
hmm
chase a ministry and to chase the ability to serve, and just,
I hear you. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just,
No, it's so beautiful. I can imagine. I can totally
because
hear your
I'm kind of
passion.
stuck, honestly. As an entrepreneur, I'm a little stuck, because I know money is energy, and it's a form of energy, but it's just, it's been challenging for me to, even with the new entrepreneurs. Usually people don't have a lot of money to get to hire someone. So even then I find myself kind of giving. And you cannot be a successful business person by just giving.
hmm
So I've just been kind of, sorry.
No, no, it's beautiful. I love that. It's you mentioned something powerful is that you do not want to be entrepreneur, you want to be a minister. I think that there has to be a way that you can combine the two, and that's to build a business with a heart. It's all about serving and helping, because just like you said yourself in a very beautiful way, when you serve others, the money is going to take care of itself automatically. It's going to come. So focus on that. Focus on what you really love, passionate about, which is helping others, and you can bet your bottom dollar that when you do that, the money is going to come. It's going to be a natural, organic, automatic byproduct of that, because people will see the transparent you, will see you're really, you wear your heart on your sleeve, you're very transparent, you're very you're real, you're not fake, you're not trying or whatever. When people see that, they will really relate with that. And I just, I told you like a few minutes earlier, if you can go and help the kind of women that I told you, like say black women and property management. I mean, if that's one option, if that's what you want to do, another option would be helping women that are, going through having to send their kids for adoption. That could be another. So find something that, if you follow those and then help enough women, and then the universe and God will come back to you in tenfolds. So don't focus on the money, focus on the serving, on the helping. Because when you do that, as I told you in the beginning when we first talked, even if in the beginning you have crickets, no one is listening to you, you can be sure that the universe is watching. You don't need the world to watch as long as God and universe are watching. That's all you need, because
Right,
they know how
right.
to bring the right people, the right circumstances in front of you. Just like this morning, I was awakened to this notification that, hey, this super powerful, important, influential person, John Asaraf, just might sound something, shallow to others, might sound even like a vanity, whatever, but it's not about that. It's about how the universe is, I'm getting, in the orbit. People are starting to noticing me in a small way. Because
Hmm.
why? Because I've been putting myself out, putting without sounding my horn, just helping, just building a platform to bring other enlightened entrepreneurs to share the stories, so together we can inspire others. When you do good, not only it's going to be is good for others, but the universe will reward you because it's the right thing to do. And a lot of people, it's not, unfortunately, not many people are doing that, but the ones that are actually doing it genuinely with a good intention, the universe will notice them. And when the
Right,
universe notices them, they're going to put the right people in front of you. So yes, I understand we all need to make money to survive, to pay for money. I see it as a vehicle, and just like a vehicle, to get to where we want. And one focus on what you're really passionate about, which is helping women, helping them in whatever way that you feel fit, that you're really passionate, really understand, so that you can help them in a very magnetic way. Once you do that, the money will come automatically, naturally, organically.
right. And that's somebody was just asking me, like, you're not working right now. And I went through my savings that I had, and
Hmm.
um, they were wondering, like, how are you still getting everything paid? And I'm just like, I just sowed my seeds and I just served. And next thing I know, it's just getting taken care of. It's just getting done. So I can't really say how it's getting done. It's getting done because I do my part. When we show up and we do our part to bless others and to serve others, we're always provided for. And that's one thing I know for sure. We'll always be provided for when we show up and we serve others. And that's in our heart.
Sometimes,
So
there's something that happened that we don't understand. We don't need to understand, because the universe will take care of it. And just like, in the spiritual world, they say, when we God will never put a challenge in front of you that you're not able to overcome. you know
right, right. Because I didn't honestly, I was after that termination. I mean, I was bitter. I wanted to go into a depression because it's like now my resume looks good. Now I have to put this job because within that little bit of time that I was there, it was I take care. I had quite a few achievements, so I wanted to
Mhm.
still have that listed on my resume. But
Look at
I
it
was
as a
like, well, how do
blessing.
I show this and how do I even present this? And then anyways, I was just holding on to too much with that.
Look at
But
it as
yes,
a blessing in disguise, and ask yourself, don't dwell on and have a victim mentality and whine, because that's not going to lead to anything good.
right,
Instead, say, what is the lesson for
right,
me to learn here? What can I learn?
yes,
And in retrospect, a few months or a year from now, when you look at it, you will be laughing. You'll say, wow, that was probably the greatest thing that ever happened to me.
oh
That
yes,
allowed
right.
you to
I'm
take
doing that
control
right
of
now.
yourself, to see what you really deep down, what you really want to do, and take the courage to go after it, and build the life you want to become, the who you're destined to be. Because
Right.
if you were on that path, making that cushy job, making the cushy money, that nice job, you would never have had probably the opportunity to really grow and fly with your own wings to where you really were meant to go. you know
No, no.
So
Nope.
always look at it as a blessing in disguise, even if at the time it hurts like a bitch. Sorry for the bad word, but it's
Right.
for
Yeah.
it's for it's for it's for our greater good in the grander scheme of life, because God
Right.
knows
It was a
best.
sting to the ego. That's pretty much what it was. Was like,
Yeah,
how you fire me? Like nobody fires me. It was that ego
yeah,
just
exactly.
talking. But I'm good now, and it
No, you'll
happened.
be
It's
all
over
right.
with.
You'll be all right.
Yes.
The reason why I'm saying you'll be all right is because I can see deep down that you're a survivor, you're a warrior, and you have something that's invaluable, which is the most amazing, contagious, and beautiful and warm smile. And that alone will open all the doors, and most importantly, all the hearts that in
Oh,
front of you. So
thank you, Payman. Like attracts like. Thank you so much.
keep shining. Don't mind the negative people saying you're too nice. Who cares? Just let them be. Just
Right.
uh, just bless them with your smile and say, okay, thank
Keep
you
it
very much.
moving. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, no,
Right.
just keep being you, keep doing you. You're an amazing human being with a beautiful heart, the heart the size of the galaxy. At the beginning, I said the size of the ocean, but no, it's actually the size of the galaxy. So
Right. But real quick though, thank you so much. Like attracts like. But you see how I was speaking earlier, we were speaking about controlling the emotions. Well,
mhm.
there was something that you did where you were able to control yourself from reaching and tapping into my emotional energy when I started crying. So you just got to figure out how to put that guard up. If you got to look away for a moment, then that's what you have to do so that it doesn't pull you in, but yet you still want to be connected to the person. So I told you I'm highly emotional, and yeah, I do. I'm
it's
like,
it's 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 embrace it. Don't fight it. Embrace it. Because
embrace it.
that's part of
Okay.
who you are. We don't need to pretend to be someone, because that's not you, that's not us. The more
Right.
genuine you can be, the better again, I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's all about connecting and being able to relate and being relatable, and the best way to do it is to being genuine and open, transparent, even if that means being completely vulnerable. And of course, we all, you know emotional human beings. At times we can, for a fraction of a second, just lose control and cry, but that's okay. That's because we're all human being. We're not robot to say, oh, you're bad, you're weak, out. No, who cares,
Right. I just don't want to find myself just walking around here crying all the time. I done pulled this person's energy. I'm crying now, crying.
No, no, no.
So that's what I mean by managing the emotions, because you don't want to constantly hold on to all of that, because there was a
Yeah.
time where, and that's what happened with the mental health breakdown.
Hmm.
The breakdown that I had, I was pulling on so many people's energy.
Yeah,
When I was in the hospital, I was speaking about the lack of compassion that's in the world.
absolutely. No
Excuse me.
worries. No worries.
Yeah, the lack
Listen,
of so
it's I love talking to you. You're an absolute treasure. You have so much wisdom to share and all that. But let's switch gears and wrap things up here. We've been
okay.
almost like an hour and a half. Let me ask some fun question now.
Okay.
Um, so let's say that you have a time machine and you can go back and sit face to face with your 18-year-old self, knowing all that you know now. What would be the number one piece of advice you would give to your 18-year-old self?
Girl, leave those dudes alone.
Give me five.
I've been man, pal, leave them alone. I've been married and divorced a couple of times. I've experienced domestic violence, and I've had my share, and now I'm just taking a break. But yes, that's what I would tell, because my 18-year-old self, she was actually a mom. She had 1 year
Wow.
old, and she was paying bills and emancipated through children's services. And she was just trying to figure out how to be a woman,
Hmm.
and how to be a mom. And she was just trying to figure out the world and pay her bills and all of this stuff. And she was naive and looking for love in all the wrong places. So to
Hmm.
her, love was a guy say, "Oh, he really likes her," then that's love. So yes, no, no, it's not love, girl. Keep walking.
Exactly. Love that. Now, imagine that you have your podcast very successful, and today you have the most special guest, which is yourself. What would be the first question you want to ask yourself? And I don't want you to think too much. What is the first question that spontaneously comes to your mind? that you want to
Go
ask
ahead.
yourself?
Okay, first question. First question. What is up with this personality? That's what I would ask. I was like, yes, because sometimes I have those conversations with myself. Like sometimes I wish I was a little bit calmer. I
Mm,
get really excited. And I
mm,
know it could be a beautiful thing, but sometimes I just feel like I need to be like calm, cool, and collected, so what's going on with what's this personality girl?
mm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Love that. What would you say is your personal superpower?
The personality.
Ah, yes, the
it's
smile,
a
the
it's
laugh.
a
Oh,
blessing
yes.
and a curse.
Oh, yes.
The personality. You get all this. Like
You're a bunch of happiness and smile on two feet. That's why I see it.
I mean, I cried too much in my lifetime as a child. Just watching a
Hmm.
lot of abuse and all kinds of stuff. I cried too much, and
Hmm.
now after 40. I'm like, hey, this is my life. I'm choosing smiles and
Exactly.
laughter.
Exactly. And let's say now that God were to come to you and say, "Listen, Ali, you've been an amazing human being. I want to reward you. You can choose any one superpower for the rest of your life. Which one would it be?
A superpower for the rest of my life. My superpower would be
Something you don't have currently, and that you would love to have."
I would be like this. Oh well, at the time you said I'm already successful and everything. Okay, so I'm gonna fly.
Fly. Wow.
Yep, I'm gonna fly. I'm gonna fly with the
Beautiful.
birds. Like
Beautiful.
I'll be up there with the bird, just smiling with the bird,
Beautiful. Beautiful.
dancing with the
Amazing.
birds.
Hmm. And before we wrap things up, do you have any parting tips or wisdom that you want to share with the the, the listeners and viewers?
Well, first of all, I just want to say, Payment, I'm grateful and I'm so thankful that you invited me on here,
The honor is mine.
and trusted me to be a part of your audience. I mean, and inspire your audience. I'm very grateful for that. So, what I just like to share with everyone is show up and show out in all that you choose to do. You choose whatever it is you choose to do, just give it your all, be your best. Show up with a
Hmm.
smile, show up in gratitude and with a kind heart. And it really is going to help make a difference in the world, because love always wins. Love will
Absolutely.
always win. So keep that love in your heart no matter. I know it just seems so crazy out here with all this, like you said, the news and all of this stuff, but there are great people here. There still are great
Absolutely.
people walking around all kinds of everywhere. They're all around us. Just open yourself up to them, introduce yourself to them, and just find the right tribe, connect with the right tribe, but don't give up on yourself. Please
Love
don't give
that.
up on yourself. Don't give up on your mind. Don't give up on your heart.
Love that. Thank you. First of all, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for your amazing, kind words. Really appreciate it. Really mean a lot to me. And that's what I do. It's all about inspiring because, you know, me and you, we cannot change the world. But if we do just a little bit to help and inspire just one person, and that person goes on to help another person, and so on and so forth, we can create a snowball that can become a global force to change the direction, the frequency, the vibration, energy of this world toward a more positive, more loving, more nurturing, fulfilling direction. And that's what the world needs now more than ever. So thank you for being
Great.
you. Thank you for being alive, for blessing the world with your beautiful aura and energy and contagious smile. So keep shining like a bright star that you always are, because the world needs you. Always remind you that the world needs you, and that's why the world brought you here. And sure, we had to go through a lot of obstacles, but those obstacles are were there to make you become who you're meant to be. To get,
Right.
it's like a diamond that needs to be polished.
Right.
So
Yes.
you're there, you're on the right path. Keep shining, keep growing, and keep blessing the world.
Thank you so much, Payment, and
Very
positive
welcome.
vibes, healing vibes to you and your loved ones.
Same here. Before we finish, just one thing. If someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to reach you?
My website is up. It's ahlilove.com. So that's going to be AHLILOVE.com.
Mhm.
That would be the best way you can reach me. So,
Awesome.
yes,
Will do.
thank you.
Thank you. So once again, I salute you. You're a true, not only enlightened soul, but an amazing leader with a heart. Stay safe, stay awesome, keep smiling, keep shining, keep blessing the world with your presence, my friend. Take care.
Yes,
Goodbye.
sir. Bye.
God bless. Bye bye.